Beginning. In the archives of interstellar diplomacy, there is a little-known footnote about a quiet corner of the neutral world of Jexari Prime, where the first successful cultural exchange between humans and the Chiral took place. The Chiral were a reptilian avian species, considered brilliant bioengineers and tacticians but infamous for their reclusive nature. Very little was known about them. Fewer still had ever seen one in person. That changed with the story of Serena, a human linguist, and Valera, a Chiral biologist who had spent most of her life in seclusion. Valera did not volunteer for the program. She had been assigned to the cultural exchange as a way to atone for her past failures. Failures she still wore like rusted chains. She had been mocked for her appearance even among her own people. Her frills were considered underdeveloped, her feathers dull and uneven, her jaw too short. While Chiral society valued intellectual achievements, physical elegance was still a source of status. Valera had neither. She had retreated into research and solitude, building synthetic seed worlds in laboratories, but never once venturing far from home. And now she was to live and work with humans, the loud, chaotic, unpredictable species who smiled too easily and spoke far too often. She was terrified. Middle. The human quarters were located within the massive biodome nestled into the red cliffs of Jexari Prime. The dome mimicked Earth's environment: blue skies, puffy clouds, and a light breeze. The first time Valera stepped into it, she squinted against the sunlight, her secondary eyelids twitching nervously. It was too open, too bright, too vulnerable. "Hey there," a voice called out cheerfully. "You must be Valera." She turned and saw the human. Serena was short, round-shouldered, with rich brown skin and bright hazel eyes. Her dark hair was tied back loosely, and she wore a simple shirt with an old Earth emblem on it, a blue circle and a stylized tree. She extended her hand. Valera hesitated. Touch was uncommon among Chiral, but Serena simply smiled and bowed her head slightly instead. "No pressure. I just wanted to say welcome." The two were assigned to study each other's cultures. Serena's task was to understand the Chiral written language and history. Valera's was to understand human emotional expressions, something utterly foreign to her. First, conversation was awkward. Serena was curious but respectful. She never pushed. She would ask questions like, "Do you dream like humans do? What does a Chiral lullaby sound like? Is it true your people engineer biohabitats that grow like trees?" Over time, Valera found herself answering not just with facts but with anecdotes. She told Serena about her childhood, how she had been born with misaligned frill bones that caused her peers to mock her. She explained how Chiral society prized symmetry, coloration, and vocal clarity in females. "I do not sing well," Valera admitted one evening, as they sat beneath the artificial sunset in the biodome gardens. Serena blinked. "Why would you need to sing?" "For courtship," Valera replied softly, her voice more vulnerable than she intended. "Our voices, our frills, they are indicators of genetic health. I was found lacking." Serena looked at her for a long time. "Do you think you're ugly?" Valera twitched. "I am. Objectively so, by my species' standards." Serena frowned. Then she leaned forward and said slowly, "You know, you're beautiful to me." Valera froze. "I'm serious," Serena continued. "Your feathers, those patterns, they shimmer when you move. And the way your frills respond to emotion. It's like watching light dance in water. You're stunning." The Chiral woman stared, speechless. Never, not once in her life, had anyone called her beautiful. Not even her own parents. Something shifted inside her. For the first time she wanted to believe it might be true. The next day, she asked Serena about human aesthetics. Serena showed her paintings, photographs, dances. She explained how beauty varied wildly across human cultures and eras. Sometimes curves were favored, sometimes thinness, sometimes age, sometimes youth. Some cultures adorned themselves with gold, others with tattoos, scars, or piercings. But what ties it all together, Serena said, is that we find beauty in what moves us, what's genuine, what makes us feel something. Valera's crest flushed a soft violet. I don't know how to be that. I don't know how to feel that. Serena smiled. You're doing it already. That night, Valera tried something she'd never done before. She stood before her reflective surface and arranged her frills the way Serena had once commented on, arched upwards, slightly fanned. She let her feathers fall naturally instead of oiling them down. She even practiced smiling, though Kirill's smiles looked more like a closed-jaw warble of amusement. When Serena saw her the next morning, she paused. You look radiant, the human whispered. Valera's frills flushed coral pink. Weeks passed. The two grew close. Not in the way of lovers, not yet, but in the way of two beings who had discovered something precious in one another. Curiosity, respect, affection. One afternoon, Serena took Valera to the lake at the edge of the dome. Humans swim in it sometimes, she said, kicking off her shoes. Want to try? I don't swim well, Valera murmured. Then wade with me. They stepped into the water. Valera's taloned feet curled against the stones. The coolness was soothing. Serena laughed as a fish darted past her ankle. You laugh often, Valera observed. Shouldn't I? It is strange, but pleasant. Serena looked at her sideways. You can laugh too, you know. I wouldn't know how. Try. Valera made a clicking sound from her throat. Serena laughed harder. Okay, maybe not like that. They both laughed then, awkwardly but truly. For a moment, species didn't matter. Culture didn't matter. They were simply two beings in a lake, in a dome, on a planet far from either home, finding peace in each other's presence. Climax. When the Kirill delegation arrived for the mid-cycle review, everything changed. Ambassador Tyrex, Valera's superior, was tall and cold-eyed. He looked at Serena with open suspicion and at Valera with thinly veiled contempt. We did not expect you to maintain the exchange, Valera, he said. Let alone to return reports filled with emotional speculation. Valera stood straighter. The human culture is driven by emotional context. It is essential to understanding them. Tyrex narrowed his eyes. You were always soft, even for one so flawed. Serena stepped forward. She is brilliant. She's built bridges where no one else could. This is not your matter, human. No, Serena challenged. Then let me say this as a friend. Valera is worth 1,000 of your delegates. She's brave. She's empathetic. And she has taught me more about my own species than anyone else ever has.